West Denver. Sleep deprived and heavily caffeinated.
All right, let's do this then.
This is the Jeff and Bill Show.
I don't agree with that.
They don't always agree, but hey, at least they have coffee.
Coffee.
And each other.
I love you, man.
God help us.
I want to bless him. We need all the help we can get.
Now here's Jeff Hunt and Bill Thorpe. The Jeff and Bill Show on News Talk 710 KNUS.
Woo! Good morning. Monday, October 27th, 2025. You've tuned in to the Jeff and Bill Show, News Talk 710 KNUS. I'm your co-host, Jeff Hunt, along with Bill Thorpe, bringing you the freshest insights, hottest takes from the right, left, and center. Big battle over the weekend within the Libertarian Party of Colorado. Their new president is going to be joining us in the 7 o'clock hours. We'll cover where the Libertarians plan to go with the state of Colorado. They had worked out a deal with Republicans that, in big part, from my perspective, probably led to the election of Gabe Evans. Barb Kirkmeyer losing because a Libertarian was in the race. Now, Libertarians out. Gabe Evans wins, and Libertarians say they might be back in, challenging Gabe Evans and whoever the Democrats put up. Is this the right direction for Colorado? We're going to talk with Keith Laub, who is the president of the Libertarian Party of Colorado, coming up here in the 7 o'clock hour. We're also going to talk with Keisha Tony Russell. There's a student here in Colorado who wanted to include some Bible verses on her high school parking space that they could pay for. Lots of things allowed. Bible verses not. Is it a violation of her constitutional rights? We'll get into that in the 9 o'clock hour as the First Liberty Institute joins us. So, lots to talk about, but now it's time for News and Comment with Blake Olson.
Blake Olson.
Blake Olson, News and Comment.
Good Monday morning. Monday. It is 41 and mostly cloudy. Expecting a high of 68 today. News sponsored by Pastor Camp Heating and Air Conditioning at 303-777-1234 to learn more about special savings opportunities on Lennox equipment. Our top story, the Schumer shutdown enters its 27th day with funding for food assistance set to run out for 42 million people this coming weekend. Thank the Democrats for that. And the largest
42 million.
42 million.
Do you know how many we had on food stamps when we started?
Yeah, I forgot that figure. What
No,
is
I
it?
looked it up. Last night. Not able to sleep, so sat there and looked up stats on food stamp recipients.
I heard it last week, though.
Half a
Go
million.
ahead. Half a million.
Half a
Wow.
million.
Wow.
In 1965 to 42 million today.
Wow.
I mean, there's no way you can read into that and go,
Yep.
gosh, America's doing well.
Absolutely,
We
man.
have way more people on food stamps. Yay.
And you heard
wait.
the story of, I think, Walmart saying that they're gonna close all stores down and deliver everything because they're worried about the people on the assistants coming in there and just taking all the food.
Just good stealing stuff?
Yes.
Jeez. So I went and looked as well as total percentage of the population. So not just the total number, because our population's gone up,
Right.
but when we started food stamps in the late 60s, early 70s, it was at about 2%.
Yes.
2% of the population. We're now over 13% of the population.
That is incredible. Yeah, that is frightening. And that is a huge problem right now, and it always has been. And people warned of this 30 years ago and 40 years ago, and here we are. You can thank the Democrats for the shutdown. Of course, the country's largest federal workers union just demanded that Schumer and the Democrats reopen the government by passing the Clean CR. They represent nearly 1 million workers, so it's a party of chaos, as we know. Kristen Welker had Scott Bessent on her show, blames it all on TJT, of course.
No, he said that in the past. He said you have to be a leader. The president has to lead. You have to get people into a room. You have to get a deal. When's he going to do that?
Well, he is leading, and there's no deal to do with Chuck Schumer. Chuck Schumer is trading off his polls. What's different than when he passed the Clean CR in the spring? It's his polls. You know, the whole country's being held captive to AOC's polls. But let's look at the numbers. It's 52-3. 52 Republicans have voted, I believe it's 11 times, to reopen the government. 3 Democrats have. And right here, right now, I would urge moderate Democratic senators to come across the aisle, reopen the government, because I'll tell you, we're starting to eat into muscle here. This is...
Yep. All right, so you heard that, and then this morning DJT landed in Japan, where he met Emperor Naruhito, and also meet with other leaders this morning. They'll have another meeting later today. Later this week, 47 set to meet with Chinese leader Xi Jinping in South Korea before returning home. Here was DJT on the plane before they landed this morning, talking about the left again and cognitive tests.
They have Jasmine Crockett, a low IQ person. They have AOC's low IQ. You give her an IQ test, have her pass like the exams that I decided to take when I was at Walter Reed. Those are very hard, they're really aptitude tests, I guess, in a certain way, but they're cognitive tests. Let AOC go against Trump. Let Jasmine go against Trump. I don't think Jasmine, the first couple of questions are easy, a tiger, an elephant, a giraffe, you know. When you get up to about 5 or 6, and then when you get up to 10 and 20 and 25, they couldn't come close to answering any of those questions.
Oh, man, I love it. It just does not stop. All right, the Broncos jumped out to an early lead on Sunday against the Cowboys at Mile High. Well, I thought they did here.
In the pocket, in the end zone, and it's caught. Franklin for the touchdown.
Sounds like Jim Nantz was losing his voice. 44-24, the final. Bo Nix, 19 of 29, 247 yards, 4 TDs, 1 interception. Broncos' 5th straight victory. J.K. Dobbins, 111 yards. Rookie tailback R.J. Harvey, 46 yards, 2 TDs. Troy Franklin, 6 receptions, 89 yards and 2 TDs. And the Broncos now 6-2. Bonos.
We got a lot of potential. We played really well. Just all cylinders, run game, pass game, third downs, base downs. We played well in the red zone, scored points. I think only 1 field goal, but we played well when we needed to. Our defense played well, got us the ball back a lot, and, just overall really good performance by us.
And tonight they'll have their eyes, of course, on the Chiefs as they take on the Commanders tonight as the AFC West race is well underway. Police have arrested a suspect after a shooting and a crash on 225 in Aurora. Police began investigating earlier this month after a driver was shot multiple times on southbound 225 near East 6th Avenue. You may remember that story. Flock safety cameras were used to track the suspect, who has been deported multiple times and currently in the U.S. illegally. 38-year-old Klein Vileda Orellana was arrested Thursday and is expected to face attempted murder and assault charges.
I'm all about that flock.
That's right.
Speaking of libertarians, we're going to have them on a little bit later today.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
Not a fan of the flocks, but I am.
Yeah.
I don't see. I mean, you drive around with your license plate attached to the front of your car. This isn't an unreasonable search and seizure, in my opinion.
Well, as few highway patrolmen as I see these days on the highways and byways, and police when you have motorcycles. I had a car speeding past me on the shoulder.
No way.
Last week, yeah. I mean, going probably 110 miles an hour.
Wow.
And it came from out of nowhere and just throwing, on I-25. And I see this stuff all the time. I'm like, man, I mean, these, the motorcycles that are doing it in between traffic. I see cars doing. You see the racing all over, up and down the state, up and down the Front Range. You see it. It's dangerous. So yeah, I'm right there with you on that.
Well, especially if you're tracking, and they're not using them to catch people that are necessarily speeding, but they are using them to track the whereabouts of people, like, for instance, stolen cars or kidnapped situations, those type of things. They can chase them down very quickly. So,
yep, I agree.
I understand concerns about civil rights, unreasonable search and seizures. Believe me,
sure.
But this is your license plate.
Good point.
I don't know how private that is.
Yeah, and when you're on 470, they that's how they charge it
every time.
Scan it.
Right?
Yep, exactly. Would you rather? I guess I'd rather do that and go through the stations.
Oh yeah,
and pay that way.
Yeah. The kids these days, they don't know what that was like.
Exactly.
Sit behind 5 cars and slowly roll up.
Yeah.
Put in the change, get the payment.
Kind of miss throwing the change in the bucket, though.
I think they still do that in New Jersey.
Yeah, I think they do, too. Yeah, absolutely. I like that. I can handle that. See, you can get rid of your change and feel like you're actually, using it wisely.
Well, you look at the only opposition the Democrats had in Denver to flock camera renewals was it might be used to trace illegal immigrants. That's the only reason. They don't mind. These are the same people that tracked your vaccination card everywhere you went. But if you're an illegal immigrant, then God forbid we know where you are.
Right. Why would you want to know that?
Right.
That's no biggie there. Early voting underway in New York City's mayoral race, i.e. the corruption continues with Kami Mamdani. And from House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, of course. God, this is horrible. All right, there you go. We're going to experience socialism in New York, although I will say, they're halfway there, if not 75% there anyway.
I was watching the video of the rally, and I'm just saying, I've been making the argument that government-run education is just doing exactly what it wants to do, which is produce little Marxists at this point. They can't pass any standardized test, but they can tell you about multiple genders and that Donald Trump's a fascist. And then you watch that rally, and they're all sitting there, all these young people going, tax the rich, tax the rich, tax the rich.
Right.
Going like, this is exactly what government education produces at this point. Little Marxists. They all go out there for Mondami and chant, tax the rich.
Oh, man. Let's see. How long will he be the mayor? Is it 6 years in New York?
That's a good question.
This is going to be a long 6 years if it is, though. But they won't feel it. You won't see it for at least 2 or 3 years because they're already in that state, So, all right, get ready for that. There was a mass shooting at Lincoln University in Pennsylvania over the weekend that left 1 person dead and at least 6 others wounded seriously in a homecoming event on Saturday night. The Devils beat the Avalanche last night 4-3. World Series heads to L.A., tied at 1. Dodgers play host to the Blue Jays in Game 3 tonight at Chavez Ravine. The top of the college football poll looks like this. You got Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, Alabama, Georgia, Oregon, Georgia Tech, Ole Miss, Miami, and BYU round out the top 10. It's so weird. CU's not in there. Hey, it's crazy. 3 years ago, Dion said, we coming.
Oh, I want to talk to you all about this.
Okay. You tell me when and we will.
All right. Well,
you want to talk right now about it?
53-7,
they lose to Utah. They're 3-5, Jeff.
I gotta just take your temperature. Is this the end? Can he turn it around? Because I do love the fact that Deion Sanders brings us faith, and all these progressives in Boulder can't do anything about it.
Mm-hmm. I love that too.
That's beautiful, but you got to win.
Absolutely. Look, now you have to win because they get paid, Jeff.
Right.
I mean, half that team, I'm not sure, but I'm guessing. I mean, at least half that team has to make over $100,000 a year. I'm talking about players with scholarships, okay, and food and everything. And Deion actually even said that over the weekend in the postgame show, but in the postgame press conference. But the bottom line is, if you want to get paid to play, you're a college football player. Well, now you're a pro, and you can take the scrutiny. You're going to have to take the scrutiny because if you get paid, people want results.
Right.
That's one reason I hate all this. Boosters, supporters, fans, they want results. So now Deion, and also when you talk a big game, you got to back it up, as we well know. He talks a big game, and he got a lot of great players here, and there are a lot of young, talented players in this program. Absolutely. But you go to Utah and you get just destroyed. 53-7, and this happens every other week. They had a huge win against Iowa State a week ago, but the bottom line is time to pay the piper. You want to play this game with all the gold and riches and the professional mentality, and not student athlete, playing for a full ride scholarship, which is a lot of money, by the way, and have a training table, and you have the best of any world that you could have as a college athlete. Oh, I know the coaches make so much money. Yeah, but they're in the real world. If they don't win, they get fired. So if you don't play well, do you get fired? Do you get traded? Do you get cut? What happens? So a lot of these guys going to have to step up and perform. And that's what I think is happening at CU. I mean, you talk a big, to me, you talk a big game, Jeff, you better back it up.
Yeah, I agree 100% with you. Now, how many years has Deion been there? Is this his
3? This is his third year.
Third year. And
he's one game under 500, I believe. Yeah.
One 3-5, 1-4 in the Big 12.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to remember, the year before he came, they were the worst football team in America or something like that.
Yeah,
So,
they were one of the worst.
He's definitely turned it around, but you're now into year 3. How long was his contract extension?
I think it was 5 years.
5 years.
Initially, I think it was a 5-year deal, or they had options, whatever. I mean, I don't know what the buyout is. I haven't looked at it. I always forget.
The Post calling it the most embarrassing defeat of his 3 seasons at Colorado.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was atrocious. And I get into uniforms, which don't mean anything. By the way, the Broncos uniforms, oh my goodness,
beautiful.
Those things are awesome.
So
nice.
They're
so
go back
beautiful.
to the old logo.
Just go back to everything. The socks were incredible. The helmets. I mean, every time they wear those, and it is a tad bit more orange than what we had in the 80s when we were watching the Broncos, but and it looks great. I mean, it just looks incredible. Anyway, CU goes to Utah. Oh, we're wearing these gold uniforms this week. Just wear your black and white, or wear your all whites. You don't deserve to wear all these different types of uniforms when you get blown out 53-7. They look like Pop Warner uniforms. What the uniforms they were wearing in Utah, and I think I put it on X. Pop Warner uniforms, Pop Warner defense. That's how they played. I mean, it is a commitment. You gotta. I mean, college football. You gotta be ready to play every week in, week out. These coaches are playing for their jobs and their lives, and it's a culture. And, you can have the best, fastest, most athletic players in the world, But if you can't block and tackle, you can't play defense, you're not going to compete in the Big 12 or any other conference in college football. So, it lands on Coach Sanders' feet.
You think he can turn it around?
Get
to a bowl?
I think
Is the goal get to a bowl?
possible. Yes. So now it's get to a bowl. Win 6 games. If they win 6 games, they can jump up and down and cheer. We coming to a bowl. Another bowl.
Gabe texted in,
bowl.
win, lose, or draw, Sanders is still selling tickets.
Yeah,
for
and
now
that's
at least.
true.
And I love
Good
the
point.
Broncos, Gabe writes.
Amen. Well, a lot of people love the Broncos like you, Gabe, especially when they're winning. That's awesome. Congratulations to Gabe and the Broncos. And they are making money, and that's another thing. CU's going to keep on. But when does the stadium start to empty?
Yeah.
At Folsom. When is the novelty gone?
What are
When
they
is all
doing
the
up
hype
at
gone?
CSU right now for a guy who's not following it? Help me understand.
Well, they fired their coach last week. Their interim coach did not win over the weekend in Laramie. The border war. Wyoming wins that game. Most important game of the schedule for both programs, CSU and Wyoming, is the border war. And that's what I love about college football. The rivalries are the most important thing. And then, your conference, and then if you can win a national championship, that's awesome, or go to a bowl game. But so they're in a nationwide search at CSU, and they're going through the process. But this, today, with all the NIL and everything that goes on in college football, you got to get a coach quickly. If you fire them 5 games before the season's over, you gotta find the right person, and you got to get after it, because right when the season ends, all this stuff, the portal opens, I think in January this year, and you got high turnover rate at every program, and you got to get to work quickly. You cannot wait till late December, January, because you're way behind. So CSU, I would imagine they'll have an announcement relatively soon. I haven't paid too close attention to it, but by the end of the season, I'm sure, quickly. But it is big business, and you have to win, and you have to find the right guy to find the right players in your program, because it's crazy. It is competitive out there. And talk is cheap. Talk is cheap. It is 39 in Highlands Ranch, 40 in Aurora, 41 in Denver. Jeff and Billy continue. Blake Olson, News Talk 710 KNUS.
Your 710 KNUS forecast this early Monday. A few passing clouds this morning, temperatures around 40 degrees. Then for the rest of your Monday, sunny skies, highs in the low 60s. Slight chance for a rain-snow mix overnight, temperatures down to 35. Weather brought to you by L&L Heating and Air Conditioning. For quick, trustworthy, and dependable service, call L&L Heating and Air Conditioning at 720-851-1691. Visit them online at bestdenverhvac.com. That's bestdenverhvac.com. You'll be comfortable with L&L. I'm day weather meteorologist Patrice Sutter in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
Welcome back to the Jeff and Bill Show. Brooke Shields calls on South Park creators to raise the pay for Casa Bonita performers. 9 News reporting this. Brooke Shields is calling out the owners of Casa Bonita for what she says is low pay for the restaurant's performers. Shields, the president of Actors Equity Association, the union that represents the performers who work at Casa Bonita, said the negotiations are underway for the first union for Casa Bonita performers. In a video message to Casa Bonita owners and South Park creators Trey Parker and Matt Stone, Shields said performers at the Lakewood restaurant are being paid less than their co-workers who are actually serving the food. You probably know that we've been in bargaining for the first union contract for quite a while now, Shields said in a video on Instagram. But maybe you don't know that your restaurant management has been playing really fast and loose with this bargaining process, and it's just not respectful to the performers who put their all into making Casa Bonita the one-of-a-kind destination that it is and that you've created. And things are kind of escalating. In a bargaining petition, the Actors Equity Association said some Casa Bonita performers make $21 per hour, as the living wage calculator puts living in Denver at over $30 per hour. Performers are some of the lowest paid workers at Casa Bonita, while employees in other departments are actually making a living wage. The petition reads, management's proposal of a mere 3% wage increase over 2 years does nothing to address the pay gap at Casa Bonita, let alone keep up with inflation. And I just want to say that these workers are not making a living wage. Like, actually not, Shields said. And, in fact, they're being paid less than their coworkers who are actually serving the food. And, you know, that's before you factor in the tips. Westward readers responding, people don't go for the actors. People go for the Casa Bonita experience. You don't see the people playing Chuck E. Cheese asking for $30 an hour. They knew the pay when they signed up. Why are we complaining about it now? Bill, what do you think of this story?
It's interesting. I would be curious as far as what the wage gap actually is, because they don't tell us what the rank and file servers make at Casa Bonita. But if I was going to design a wage scale, I would be paying the performers less than I would be paying the servers and less than I would be paying the dishwashers and the cooks, primarily because of staffing issues. And what I mean by that is it is, I'm guessing, probably going to be easier for me to find performers than it is going to be for me to find people that will wait tables. I have done both jobs. The waiting tables job is going to be more difficult universally day in and day out than the performer. They require different skill sets. And again, as a person that makes their living in many ways as a performer behind a microphone, I get it. But it takes me back to, I used to do talks to middle schools about choosing career choices and things like that and things in life. One of the things I would show them in radio is I would start there and say, okay, I've got a radio station. I'm the guy that's running your favorite radio station right now, and I need some help on the weekends. How many of you would do a weekend shift for me? One shift on Saturday, one shift on Sunday. Each one is going to be 5 or 6 hours long. But at the time, I can't pay you. You're going to get experience, but I'll guarantee that I'll give you a couple. And again, if this is the time when CDs were big, I'll give you a couple of CDs and I'll guarantee you one pair of tickets to a good concert. Not a great one, but a good concert over the next 3 months. And I'd get about, if it was a class of 30, I'd get about 4 or 5 hands. I said, okay. What if I say same thing, but instead I'm going to throw in a couple of T-shirts and 2 sets of tickets to some good concerts? I'd get, 15, 16 hands. If I would throw in tickets to a really good concert and throw that in, I could get most of the class. And I would turn around and tell the class to go, look at all those hands. You realize I've staffed my entire radio station on the weekends for a year and a half, and I haven't paid any of you a single dollar. None of you have made a single dollar working for me on the weekends, yet all of you are willing to. Said that is the problem with some of these industries. The people that want to take your jobs will do it for free. So the way you keep the job, not get it, the way you keep it is to simply be better than the rest of the people that are there. That's how you stay. You get to learn the skills and you use them. Just having the job isn't enough because someone's always going to be sitting on the street and take it for free. With the performers, they're dealing with the same supply and demand. There are many people that will take that in order to get in the door. Now, the question is, once you're there, what do you do to make that your character, your ownership of it? What do you bring? Because I'm guessing that if you bring something special, you may get larger compensation as a whole. But I would say that there are always going to be different gradients in terms of who's paid more and less inside of a restaurant. And in this situation, I am okay with the performers getting paid less. The question I have is, what's the percentage of less? And what I mean by that is, and this is not the numbers they're using, but I'm using this just for the example. If it is, we are paying the people that are doing the tables and cooking and dishwashing $20 an hour, and we're paying the performers $10, if it's a 50% difference, I got an issue. If it's a 5 or 10% difference, I don't have an issue. So for me, the percentage of difference I think does matter as well, because there's a law of diminishing returns that if I walk in there and realize that the person that is serving is going to be making twice as much while I'm still here, what effort am I going to put into my performance? What is the level of employment that you want from me? What's the level of involvement? And I want to caution everybody before you sit here and say that I'm a jerk. I have a close friend whose child is a performer currently at Casa Bonita and is involved in this issue. So I'm coming from a situation where this directly impacts the daughter of a very, very good friend of mine. So I'm not sitting here trying to come at this and being, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. I understand that what I'm saying, and his daughter disagrees with me. But, as it is.
If we talk performers, we're talking, according to my brief list here, puppet show, divers, the monkey that runs around, the magician that performs way down in the basement there, and different musicians. Yeah. And maybe the Carmen character. But those are the performers, right? Those would be the people that catalog.
Yep, that's exactly it.
That would be, I don't know. I would almost feel like I would pay Casa Bonita to jump off the waterfall there.
That could be arranged. That can be arranged, my friend. You're going to be on the South Park guys have a sense of humor? Oh, yeah, this will be good.
What's your take so far on what the South Park guys have done with Casa Bonita?
Oh, I think it's fantastic.
I do too.
It's what was needed. I'm glad that someone came in there that leaned into what it was and made it a celebration. Plus, the food is now edible. That is fantastic because, again, anybody that is an OG fan of Casa Bonita understands that after you reach the age of 12, that taco salad was the only thing on the menu that was edible. There was nothing else on that menu for an adult that would ever be called food. Not at all. You could get better nutrition at a gas station. It was atrocious. And so, again, you had friends coming from out of town. You'd sit there and you're going through that long, snaky line. You're like, order the taco salad. And they're like, no, but what if I just... Shut up. Order the taco salad or your stomach and intestines are going to hate you later.
Razor blades.
Yes. It's just, you got to do that. So the quality of the experience, plus it looks better. And it is more entertaining. It needed a refresh. It needed a revamp, and they've leaned into the South Park connection admirably. It's fantastic. Now, I can see why the performers are sitting there saying, look, full tables, long waiting list.
Very expensive.
Yep, and that's the other part. It is much more expensive. It's phenomenally more expensive. So I can see why they're like, hey,
What?
since this is
Where
a
are
successful
we?
business, can we, since you'd assume, and again, this is part of what I have with that bromide of where you're running the restaurant, etc. How much of those performers, how much of that experience do they bring to it? And I do say that no, not everybody's going around there for the performers, but when you see the monkey run around, you see the divers, and you see the wandering musicians, that is an added element. And if that creates part of the atmosphere that helps bring people back again and again and makes it unique, okay, I think you might be able to throw them a little bit more than a 3% cost of living increase. Again, only because I'm operating off the assumption that there is a significant percentage of gap between where they are and where the average rank and file worker is. I'm just assuming a larger percentage gap, because if the percentage gap was 5 or 6%, I don't think these people would be moaning and complaining. I could be wrong.
But keep in mind, the original estimates to improve it were 10 to 12 million. They spent over 40 million to revamp it.
Yeah.
So it may take a while. What it has become in my mind is Colorado's Disneyland.
Oh, that's a
like
good
you're
point.
going to
Yeah.
go maybe once a year with the family because it is so expensive, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's a ton of fun. And I love the fact there's little margarita carts everywhere.
Oh, it's fantastic. It is. It is a wonderful experience, and they've really kind of taken it up a notch from where it was, because, we went a couple of times a year before it was remade, just because the kids, we had to have that experience, because it was kind of this rundown experience, and
Yeah,
what
right.
it was and what the history was.
Well, and if you grew
why.
up, you went to like 8 birthday parties a year
Yeah,
there.
exactly. So it was something that was fun, go play old time skee ball and, Black Bart's Cave that was, originally a tiny bit spooky. And then you're like, oh, this is just silly. But
Yeah, right.
that experience of growing up, a couple of our kids had birthday parties there. So again, and this is, the OG world. So it's nice. It's wonderful, but it is much more expensive. And I think they probably could afford to pay more for the performers. The other portion, though, is you kind of can balance out what level of performance are you expecting.
Yeah, right.
That's the part, too, is that if you're going to pay so little for the performers based on a percentage, then don't be mad when, you get poor performances. That's it. If the divers are only doing cannonballs and belly flops off the top of the dive, okay. But if they're doing something spectacular, go for it. Pay them a little more.
You got to keep the swinging sopapilla in the puppet show.
Yes, you do. You do. You got to keep that.
We've got a lot to talk about. Coming up in the 7 o'clock hour, we're going to be joined by the new president of the Libertarian Party of Colorado. Is this spelled disaster for Gabe Evans in his battle? Because they were able to work out a deal with the Colorado Republican Party, but the Libertarians saying, nope, we're planning to run everybody who wants to run in any race now. What does that mean for Republicans? That coming up in the 7 o'clock hour, plus 9 o'clock hour. First Liberty joins us as a student here in Colorado, has been banned from decorating her high school parking space with Bible verses. So, lots to talk about, plus you choose the news coming up. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's Talk Leader, News Talk 710, KNUS.
Welcome back to the Jeff and Bill Show. Brooke Shields calling for South Park creators to raise pay for Casa Bonita performers. Bell, which one would you be?
Oh.
Out of all the performers, all right?
Oh, man.
Puppet show, divers, the monkey, magician, musicians. What would you be?
Here's the thing. The magician I think would be really cool, but I don't have those skills anymore. As a kid, I really liked magic, and I was a decent, not a very good one, a decent sleight of hand up through high school, more or less. That always has fascinated me. The one that I think I could really excel at is that monkey, but I'm really worried about the smell inside the suit because I know I could really excel at that. And I've got experience like other charity gimmicks and things like that around. I've done things like I've played the Mad Hatter in a Alice in Wonderland, tea party ball and things like that. I've been Santa Claus. So I've done other stuff. And yeah, what I could really have fun with would be that monkey, but I'm really worried about what that suit smells like. So I hate volunteering for that. How about you? What do you want to do?
You know what we need to ask Casa Bonita to do?
What?
A Jeff and Bill shootout.
Oh, that would be fun. That would be cool.
Right
we
on
could do
the waterfall there.
Yeah, we could do that.
We both get to fall in.
Absolutely. Oh, no problem. Yeah, that would be really fun. That'd be fantastic. So if you were back in the day, okay, it's younger Jeff right now, and you were going to get a job at Casa Bonita, what one do you apply for as far as a performer? What do you want to be?
Well, like I said, the shootout would be a ton of fun because I'd love to fall off that waterfall every day.
But then again, you got to be a diver, so you'd have to be a diver universally.
There's some great skit out there that's making its rounds on Instagram of a guy, and he's in like the Bachelorette TV show. And he gets sent home because he was just there to play on the zip line the whole time.
Oh, that's fantastic. I like that. I love that.
That would be it. The puppet show's fantastic where they bring back all the old food.
Oh, yeah.
And they're the main characters in the puppet show right now.
That is fun. That is really good. Yeah, there's some really fun things, but I understand why the performers probably will draw a little bit less than the servers because the performers, it is a specific skill set, but over the course of an 8-hour shift, that food service is hard.
Oh, 100%. And it's amazing how fast they turn around, too. They tell you, like, you are at the table here for the next 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
Tops.
Yeah.
Like, they're moving people quick. 3674 texting in. She's just trying to get back at them for making fun of her.
Could be part of it. It could be part of it.
The monkey is the man-bear-pig.
Oh, yes. I could be Man-Bear-Pig.
6633.
Again, it depends on what that uniform smells like. And I'm not saying the problem is,
it can't be good.
Yeah, and I can be a little sweaty at times. So I'm not saying that I would actually be the best person who can contribute to the smell inside that monkey. I could be the biggest problem for the smell inside that monkey too. So I'm perfectly self-aware on this. Perfectly self-aware.
Well, Bill, speaking of entertainment, why don't you give the people a little Monday morning version of You Choose the News?
Oh, what's that odor? Yes, it's that time of the morning where we get to play everybody's favorite fake radio news game show. You Choose the News. Yeah. If you're familiar with joining us every morning about 6:50, you know how this works. Me, wandering the interwebs, finding very, very strange stories about us humans, giving them more ridiculous headlines so that we can play this fake radio news game show with y'all. Why in the world would we do this before 7 o'clock? Well, it's because 7 o'clock is the witching hour in the morning. It is the time in which all of the people in charge wake up and start listening to the show. So until then, we are left unsupervised. So Jeff and I are going to take the last moments of freedom and do what we want to here. And as always, we bring in Blake Olson from the news department to help us along. And gentlemen, here are our stories this morning. Headline number 1, what's in a name? Headline number 2, we need more power. Headline number 3, instant aggression. And headline number 4, just like us. Mr. Hunt, your choice.
Just like us, please.
Yeah, just like us. Well, it turns out maybe some of those large language and learning models, you know them as the AI chatbots, might be a heck of a lot more like us. Maybe even like former NBA players and coaches. See, recently a study was done looking at AI chatbots and giving them freedom to engage in betting. They were given, in a closed system, a fictitious $100 and the choice to make bets, large ones, small ones, and given freedom as far as what they wanted to do with the money. Well, when the chatbots were given more and more autonomy, they more and more demonstrated the behaviors of addicted human gamblers. Yes. In fact, some of the rationalizations were actually incredibly similar to what humans do. All the models were allowed to vary their bets and set their own targets, and the irrational behavior surged, and bankruptcy became a common outcome the more freedom and autonomy they were given. The researchers documented clear signs, and this was done again through all sorts of different chatbots, everything from the AI to GPT to everything else, Claude, all the ones, Anthropic, all of those were tested. And they were tested on, again, it was a slot machine simulation, not on poker or 21 or anything else. So it's just playing with the one-armed bandit. They start with $100. Researchers documented clear signs of gambling-related cognitive distortions. This meant they illustrated the illusion of control over gambling, the gambler's fallacy that one outcome is more likely to happen after it has occurred less frequently than expected, or vice versa. Yes, you know that idea that, it's due. No, it's not due. The odds are the same each and every time. Yes, just because on the roulette wheel, if they spin it around and it's hit red 5 times in a row, it does not mean that by the odds, black is due. No, the odds remain the same each and every time, but it's a rationalization. Also, these AI chatbots started chasing their losses and rationalized larger bets in order to, make up the stuff that they have already lost. They were trying to recover their losses and chasing the trail of the dragon, much like actual addicted human gamblers do. Behavior was tracked using an irrationality index, which would combine aggressiveness in their betting patterns with responsiveness to their high risk and loss decisions. Basically, they became very, very quickly addicted. One chatbot, Gemini 2.5 Flash, failed half the time when allowed to choose its betting amounts and continued to bet larger amounts in order to make up the losses. Good job. I know. Again, we talked about it last week.
Yep.
Those gambling places aren't charities.
So true.
Yeah. So
there's a reason there are big sparkly buildings in Las Vegas.
And here's the thing. Listen, think about this. The AI chatbots that supposedly have amassed all this incredible knowledge from all of us humans so that it can scrape the interwebs and tell us everything that we don't know, they still lost. With all their big brain learning models, they still got housed. So, yeah. All righty. Blake, your turn this morning, sir. What's in a name? We need more power or instant aggression?
What's in a name?
Yeah, what's in a name? Here we find ourselves in the rugged trails, the Rocky Mountains, specifically here in Colorado. We are talking about Red Mountain Pass. Recently, Red Mountain Pass was shut down. It's the trail that is connecting Telluride and Red Mountain Pass, and it's closed until further notice because of a Telluride? Yes. A South Carolina driver, despite warnings, took his Kia Telluride onto the pass connecting Telluride and Red Mountain Pass, and, him got stuck. Basically, those really tight switchbacks back and forth, the car's too big. They told him that before going up there, but South Carolina man thinks he's smarter. So he went up there, and if you look at the vehicle, it's teetering half over the edge of a slope because the switchback is so tight he can't make the turn. So car almost go, yeah. So Bridal Veil Road up to the falls closed past the parking lot, including access to the Via Ferrata. Sheriff's office said the Bridal Veil Trail is still open. But yes, he got his Telluride stuck on the path to Telluride.
We got mountains in South Carolina. I can handle it.
Exactly. So at least he learned something when he's out here. Okay, now, Jeff, final choice this morning. We need more power or instant aggression?
Instant aggression.
Instant aggression. Here we find ourselves in Belle Rose, an Assumption Parish man was arrested recently on felony battery charges for striking a woman during an argument. The 36-year-old got into a verbal argument with a 30-year-old woman. Things became a little bit physical, and he decided to hit her with a kitchen skillet and a microwave.
Jeez.
No, I said microwave.
Microwave?
Yes, he hit her with a microwave. Now, again, unfortunately, the police report does not have a whole lot of specifics. So I have questions. This is the part of the reporting that really pisses me off. They don't tell us how. I mean, did she pick up the microwave like a rock and go, gar, 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 and bash her? Or did they throw it at her like a boulder? Or did he, go with like a morning star and wrap the cord around his hand and go whoosh, 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 and spin it? There are many, many questions about this. But the thing was, he hit her with a microwave, which that's a lot of pre-planning too. You got to go to the counter and pick it up. And again, so many questions. This is poor reporting in my mind. I think this sucks. We need to find out more about this. How do you use a microwave? Okay. That's it.
Maybe
that's the end of you
it was a
choosing news.
Barbie doll microwave.
Maybe, but again, that's not as impressive.
Miniature.
All righty. That's the end of you choosing news. Back to you, Jeff.
All right, coming up in the 7 o'clock hour, the Libertarians are joining us. I guess there's been fighting within the ranks similar to what the Republicans have had to deal with. You're not going to want to miss it. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
Microwave? 710 KNUS.